Hey everybody, Douglas81 here. Today we are at my range, the Sydenham Sportsmen Association. This place is awesome. They've got everything we need down there, and you know, it's mid-September and it's right about the time that we should be thinking about wow, there's some turkeys over there.
Wow, look what we got over here. Some turkeys wondering what the deal is. Guess what, turkeys? 3 more weeks.
It's a nice day, middle of September, so we're looking at 2 weeks until deer season opens, and 3 weeks from now for turkey season for the fall. And no better way to get ready than get in your camo, get in your gear, and get down to the range and throw some arrows. Now this range is really awesome. One of the best features I love is the archery range. They've got it set up through the woods with real life scenarios. So not only is it about wearing the proper clothes that you would normally wear when you go hunting, but also setting up for the situations that would be very similar to the ones you'd see out in the field. And the range down here allows us to do that. We're going to take us through about 20 different targets, all set up through the woods, some different distances, uphill, downhill. They even got some tree stands set up. It's really awesome. So let's take you in there, check it out. So as we go through the gate, we see the clubhouse straight ahead. Behind that to the right, there's actually a trap range. And most of the actual ranges themselves are down through the next gate. And what you got to remember when you're going through the next gate is to make sure you drop the sign, let people know that you're down there shooting. It's crucially important. Now I'm going to keep the camera rolling for this part so you can see the whole process, but I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Now I'm not actually driving this fast. You wouldn't want to actually drive this fast, but I'm just going to speed up the camera for the purposes of showing you the whole range here. As we get down to the bottom of the hill on the left is a sort of our standing archery range. They got targets out to 40 yards, often some 3D targets, and a shotgun blasting zone beside that. And then the handgun range comes after that. You can see it's active by the red flag outside there. Just behind to the right of the handgun range is the 22 range down the road there. And proceeding down this range a little bit further on the left is where we get to the high power range, where you would have seen, if you've seen the video on the 30-06 Savage 111, that's where I shot it there on the left. Beside that, there's another trap range with skeet as well. And I think I'll do some videos next summer and maybe the spring actually on the skeet and trap range itself, how to shoot skeet and trap. When we're going into the archery range, we want to make sure, again, flip another sign here, let people know that we're going to be out using the archery range in the woods, so people have a heads up that there's some arrows that are being thrown around out here. Be extra careful. Again, speeding up the footage so we don't take too long. Don't actually drive this fast. All through the right, where the hardwoods are, or the cedars rather, is where most of the range is. And we're just going to park the car up around and to the left. And what I'm actually going to do is strap this HD Hero Cam to my head. And I gotta tell you, by the end of this run, it was hurting real bad. So I did that one for you guys. So strap this camera to my head, and away we go. So just a little bit further up the trail, and we head into the woods. Now the bow I'm going to be using is this Bear Charge compound bow, 2011. Did a review on that. If you got time and you're interested, check out that video as well. Now the trail is pretty clearly marked. Pretty easy to get in. Just follow the arrows and look for the signs. They set up each hole. The first hole here on the right, there'll be markers on the ground, red and white and blue. The red is the distances that we're going to be shooting from. And today I'm shooting these Radial X-Weave Still Hunter 200s. They're 30 inches long, and I think that they fly pretty nice, so I like to use them. This first shot is pretty straightforward, pretty straight away, about 20 yards. I paced all these out myself. That one felt pretty good. Let's go check it out. I'm going to speed up a lot of this walking part so it doesn't really take too long. Cha-ching, bada bing, as my friend would say. That's a pretty good shot, pretty close to the middle. I'm happy with that, as long as I don't keep dropping my arrows. Shot number 2 is a shot that has a kind of a branch in the way. So I'll get down on the knee for this one and try it out. Shot number 2 is coming in at 24 yards. Now it felt like a good shot, so I thought, but when I got a little bit closer, you can see that I've actually missed a little bit high and back. So that's kind of a bad shot actually. You wouldn't want to hit an animal there. That would be a pretty bad wounding job. So that's a -1 point for me. I'm back to 0 again, right back where I started. Archery, is all about practice, and the better you can set up in these kind of scenarios, I think the better, more successful you're going to be when you actually encounter this stuff. Shot number 3 is coming in at 20 yards. That's kind of sort of the average of a lot of these distances, near the 20-yard mark. Now, you could shoot 2, 3, 4, 5 arrows from each place if you want. You can do some standing, sitting. That's a little low and left, but I'll take it. It's within the circle. We're having ram stew for dinner tonight. I wonder what that would taste like. I don't think my wife would be too happy with me bringing home big ram horns. I'm not sure she would even eat ram stew. Number 4 is awesome. This is probably my favorite shot of the entire course. And it's nice because you have a lot of options. You can shoot from here at the 4 sign, or you can actually go up the ladder into the tree stand, which is what I do. Now, tying up my bow to this rope here, I kind of overdid it. I wrapped it up like a Christmas present here. It's pretty awful. This is pretty much how my Christmas presents look, actually, with maybe a bit more duct tape on them. So just kind of fast forward that part. Now, going up this ladder, it's about 10 feet up to the platform. And so where I'm actually shooting from, the arrow is probably leaving at about 15 feet high. When you get up here, usually you've got some kind of way of securing yourself in, like a belt of some sort of harness. It's a good idea to wear these harnesses. Hunting is a lot of sitting and relaxing, and that can be kind of tiring. You can fall asleep, it's so peaceful, and people fall asleep and fall out of tree stands all the time. So you want to make sure that it's good practice to sort of put these on. Now, as you look over the edge, as I'm bringing up my bow, I noticed that I kicked over a bunch of leaves, and that got me thinking, at this time of the year in the fall, you really want to clear off your tree stand when you get up there. Try to keep it clear of leaves. That's just one less thing that deer are going to see sort of falling down that'll catch their eye, so you want that to be swept off pretty good. Now, the distance to this target is 20 yards, but we are up a little bit. The arrow, like I said, is leaving from about 15 yards, so you can take that into consideration to some degree. A lot of it really doesn't apply too much unless you're really high, or unless the target itself is really close. For example, I'm up at 15 feet for the arrow, and the target is 20 yards away, which is 60 feet. But realistically, that's only a 14-degree angle. That's not very much. I'm going to take advantage of being up here and shoot a few arrows. I'll empty my quiver from here and see what I can get. You can look a lot into shot angles and how much you can reduce the distance by. Realistically, being 14 degrees, I'm not reducing by that much. It's only 20 yards away, and if you look at this chart, I made this chart, you can get way into this, but a 15 degree angle at 20 yards is really only 19.2 yards, so there's really not much of a difference there. You'd have to actually get a 60-degree angle before you have to have each of your distances. So if the angle was 60 degrees, then I would shoot at a 10-yard distance instead of 20. That's when it becomes into the halving of the distance. In order to do that, that target would have had to been in at about 9 feet, instead of 60 feet. So it would have to be not even 10 feet out in front of me in order to get a 60-degree angle. So anyway, some things to consider there with shot angles. I think they apply a lot more to rifle shooting than they do to archery, but you can make these charts with some basic sine and cosine and tangent. Tying up the bow there was a little bit easier. I just ran it through the limbs and around the front limb pocket, and that seemed to work pretty good. So we're going to walk up and see what we got. There's a bear in a standing position here, and kind of see how we did with our grouping. It's kind of ironic, is you normally, a bear in a standing position isn't really that great of a shot for an archer. So that's pretty good. All 3 are within the target. I'm going to give myself a point there, and we're back up to 2 points, making some progress. Pretty good grouping at 2 at the top. I don't know where the heart is on a bear, right or left. Maybe it's in the middle. I'm not too sure. But it seemed to be a good placement anyway. From 20 yards, not bad. Shot number 5 is a little bit longer. We're out all the way to 30 yards now, which is nice. Get a few longer shots in, and this is a really nice shot as well. I like this this one on the course. I'll show you why. You've got some options. You know, you don't have to shoot from the 30-yard spot. Just up and to the right a little bit, about halfway, there's a nice little blocking with a sort of like a window you can shoot through. So that's pretty neat. You know, kind of like a shooting over a fence sort of scenario. I think I've shot from there a couple times, and it's pretty nice. It's a good little challenge. Here we got a big buck at 30 yards, and looks like it's a pretty good shot there. It's probably lung, maybe one lung, maybe two. A little high to be a heart shot, but that's a good sized buck. I'll take that home. Take the rack home to the wife. Actually, I think since I got married, she's not fond of bringing random racks home. Pretty sure that's how that goes. Shot number 6. This is the shortest shot on the whole course. It's only 15 yards, and you can't even hear the arrow hit the target because the target's so close that basically the sound is the same. Should be able to make this shot pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with that. That's a nice, another probably a lung shot on, what is that, an antelope of some kind? I don't know, what does antelope taste like? I've never tried antelope. I've tried a lot of stuff, but never antelope. Probably because we don't have any out here. Shot number 7, 23 yards. Just a short one over the road. A little bit of a gravel pit, I guess is where we keep our gravel. I like the scenery of this one, the contrast and colors of the green leaves and the gravel. It's pretty nice. You know, you're out in nature, the sounds of birds and things like that. It's great. It's great to get out and do some target practice. Oh yeah, just a little on the low side, but I'll take it. Maybe that, you know, that could even be close to the heart on that one, I'd say. So another good shot, good ethical kill there. We're going to speed up the walk here as we make our way back towards shot number, what are we on, number 8. Yeah, there's the archery sign that we marked. A couple guys are out at the high power range blasting away. Number 8 is pretty interesting. You can play it from a couple different places. Where I'm shooting it from is going to be at 28 yards. And just in front, there's actually some trees that are kind of obscuring the target. And I'm going to try and pull a little Robin Hood here and split a couple of limbs. See if I can split a couple of limbs on the way to the target. Now if you see those two limbs right there, those are the ones I'm going through, and where the target is behind, probably only about a 3 to 4 inch spread on the limb. So didn't hear a tree sound, that's a good thing. It went through. Let's see how it works out. Basically went right through these two limbs right there. You can see the target in the background. There's the blue stake there. I'm not sure what the distance is from the blue stake. Probably around, I'd say maybe 10 yards. Boo. Just a little bit forward on that one. Got too carried away with trying to get it through the trees and made a bad shot. Didn't miss by much. Maybe, you know, in real life, maybe the deer would have walked into that too. Who knows? But anyway, that's a miss. That's a -1. What can you do? On to hole number 9. Another short one, 22 yards, straight ahead, no obstructions, no trees. Pretty straightforward shot. I should be making these 25 yards and in. Shouldn't really be a question. Though I do have to work on my kneeling shot. On hole number 2, yeah, that's good. On hole number 2, you know, I missed that target a little bit high and left. Maybe that was because I'm kneeling. I'm not exactly sure of the dynamics there. I'd have to I should be practicing a lot more kneeling shots. So next time I come out, I'll probably do the whole course kneeling and work on that aspect. Making our way up to number 10, we climb up a bit of a hill here, and the shot is actually quite a bit downhill, more than it looks on the camera. This is 27 yards. And they got this nice rack up here that you can, rest your bow on. The hill can be kind of slippery, it's a little on the steep side, so that's a nice feature. I like that. Now, like we said, even though it's quite a bit downhill, the angle isn't very much. That was maybe even a 8 or 10 degree angle at the most. Hey, there's a good shot. Bammo, dead center almost. That looks like a big caribou or something. That would be tasty. Up to 6 points now. Back up the big hill, and I'll grab the bow, move on to shot number 11, which is just on the other side of shot 10. Another sort of semi-downhill one here, a little bit tighter in this way. And we're looking at 26 yards on 11. And down the hill we go. Another bear bites the bullet, or the arrow in this case. So a little on the low side, but not bad, I'll take it. Again, got to work on maybe some uphill, downhill accuracy, but really it's probably just a matter of keeping it still. Now as I'm going back, I see something that, what is this? Tim Hortons, someone's drinking their coffee. Come on, littering? What year is this? Is this 1980 or what? Let's just assume that someone put it down when they took their shot and they forgot to pick it back up again. So, anytime I get to, any chance I get to clean up the bush a little bit, leave it a bit cleaner than the way you found it. That's good practice. Shot number 12. Looking at about 22 yards on this one, not too far away. Another very slight downhill, not much, a couple degrees, really wouldn't change the yardage much at all, if at all. Another bear. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm aiming dead center on all of these targets is where I'm aiming. So that was nice. That bear fabric's going to need a little bit of work. I'll take a mental note next time I'll come back with a staple gun and just pop her back up there. Shot 13 is coming in at 17 yards. Pretty close one. This one should be pretty straightforward. And we got another bear who's barely breathing. He's done. He's dinner. I've actually never tried bear meat. I'd like to give it a try. I hear that it's sweet, but you really want to get rid of the fat, is what I understand. So I wouldn't hunt anything until I've tried it with somebody else. I wouldn't want to get a whole bear and then not like it. That would be terrible. That'd be unbearable. Number 14, 22 yards, and this one's got a little bit of bush in the way. Kind of hard to see from that shot, but it had to sneak just above this little bit of bush that was sticking out. So a challenging shot, a little bit obscured the deer was, and I just got him on the forward side, so that's pretty good. That starts getting into questionable shots when you have obstructions in the way, and you've been waiting all day and all night and all day and all night, and you finally see something and it's kind of just behind a tree or just behind a bush. You don't want to injure it. That's a hard one to decide. Number 15 is another really awesome one. This is actually the longest shot on the entire course, and it's coming in at 32 yards. Now this is another one of my favorites for, again, the reason that because it's so long, there's a lot of versatility, a lot of places you can shoot from. You got this nice setup on the left with some more logs. You could sit there for a couple minutes and then pop out and try and get a shot off. It's great. You've got a lot of scenarios that you can sort of build on. So 32 yards, I've got my pins sighted in at 15, 25, and 40. So I'm kind of between yellow and red on this one. And that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. In fact, that's probably, I would say that's probably a heart shot on that. Is that a deer? That's a pretty big buck, I guess. So that's good. I'm happy with that. Longest shot of the course, and I got him through the heart. Number 16, a little bit shorter, back to the average again. I'm getting down to 19 yards on this one. Right between these two big trees, a good 3-foot spacing though. Again, another relatively short one. I should be hitting these 20 yards in no problem. There he is. That looks like maybe another heart shot. He's kind of quartering a little bit. Maybe lungs. So that's nice. I'll take that. Now we get on to 17, which is the second longest. And it's coming in at 31 yards. And you're going to want to listen to the audio here after the shot. Listen to this and tell me what you hear. Yeah, that popping sound is the sound of me hitting a tree. Son of a... hit the tree on the left. I don't know how. I think the arrow came off with a bit of a wobble. The rope or the string may have hit my jacket. I'm not sure, but it wobbled, a good 6 inches to the left, and it shouldn't have done that. So, take another stab at it anyway and see what we get. So that sucks. If you've ever hit a tree with your arrow, they're extremely difficult to get out. You can be there for quite a while. Let's see where it landed up here. Yeah, there it is, just sticking into that tree. That's nice. So I'll give it a try anyway. See, you never know, maybe it'll come out. Hard to say. You want to really try and get the leverage right against the tree though. You don't want to bend it too much or you're going to snap your arrow off. And this is pretty much not coming out. So I'm going to leave that for now. I'll come back to this. Actually, I always bring a drill with me, a cordless drill in the car with just a really small bit, like a 5/16 or something really small. And just drill a number of holes in a circle sort of around where your shot went in. That just alleviates some of the tension and really doesn't affect the tree that much. Even my second shot was no good. That's a double negative. That sucks. I'm going to count that as -1. I think getting the arrow out of the tree is going to be painful enough. And I didn't injure the animal by missing, hitting him in a bad spot anyway. So another -1 for me. Now we're on to number 18 already. Again, another average here, coming in at about 20 yards. Now, you could play this game however you like. You can score it however you want. You can give yourself 1 for targets, or 2 for targets and 1 for the animal. It's up to you. I just do it the way I do and see if I can beat my previous high score. Like I said, you can shoot 2, 3, 4 arrows from each spot. You could spend a couple hours out here. I've got a range at home, but it's just a bag. It's not as dynamic as this. Number 19 is the same yardage as it is the number, so 19 yards away. Not too bad at all. Pretty much straight ahead into a bit of a bright patch. You come at different times of the day as well. You have the sun in different positions. This ram's going home with me. Got lots of ram stew going on tonight. Up to 13 now. If I can get this last shot, then I'll be at 14, and that'll be 1 score less than my highest score, which is 16 so far. So number 20 is actually another relatively far one, 28 yards. So almost 30 yards to end it. Let's see how we can do. So last shot of the day for this course, and so far, we're about a half an hour. It's about a half an hour to run through it at this pace. And this elk is in the circle. It's a little bit back. It's kind of quartering away. I'm not super happy with this shot, but it is within the circle. That's another point. So let's see how this scorecard adds up. We got missed 1 on number 2, missed 1 on 8, and missed 1 on 17. So, a couple of them are longer shots, 28, 31 yards. And then number 2 was the kneeling shot. Not too bad. Overall, get a total of 14 points. because it's not just a 0 on those holes, it's a -1, so we're actually 6 points off, and that's my second highest score I've gotten on this course. I've probably played it 5 or 6 times now, so I'm pretty happy with that overall. Some things I can work on are some kneeling shots and some longer distance stuff. Where we come out of the bush, we end up sort of right near the first archery range, which is the sort of the standing archery range near the handgun range. So the whole course itself, I think, covers, you know, somewhere between, I would say, 5 and 10 acres. It's pretty busy through the woods there. It's nice. So I hope you guys enjoy that. That's the way I get ready for hunting, for bow hunting, get into the scenario type of training. And if you guys ever live in this area, you know, the Grey Bruce area, come out and give this range a try. Give them a call. All the information at the beginning of this video on that sign, the Sydenham Sportsmen Association. Hope you guys liked it. Thanks a lot. Take care, guys.
Now, one last thing to talk about, of course, range safety. Got to make sure that when we're getting... Oh boy.